3 ways teachers contribute to child abuse. Teachers are often presented as being selfless, kind-hearted caretakers of children who are routinely undervalued by those around them. In reality, though, this caricature belies the nature of what teachers do in the classroom in order to get children to conform to their dictates. Unraveling the obfuscations requires analyzing the specifics of what teachers do and how they do it. Let's look at 3 ways teachers inherently contribute to the abuse of children. Number 3. Pushing children to be medicated for the sake of classroom conformity. More than ever, teachers are a part of the prescription drug pipeline by pushing children to get medicated so they conform to the classroom environment. While teachers do not diagnose and prescribe medication themselves, they're an integral part of the intake and evaluation process. The 2 common arenas where teachers are a part of this pipeline is an initial referral for child evaluation and in a psychological reporting assessment tool called the Vanderbilt Assessment Scale. A teacher can begin the process for interventions and, ultimately, be a strong voice for getting a child onto medication. Teachers can call conferences and submit recommendations to exceptional student education teams to involve a district psychologist. A teacher will usually have a direct role in the psychological evaluation process with the Vanderbilt assessment thereafter. The Vanderbilt assessment is a rating scale that psychologists and psychiatrists give to teachers for feedback on a child's behavior in the classroom. Included in the assessment are notations like talks excessively and actively defies or refuses to comply with adults' requests or rules. Teachers with a desire to get a child onto medication have an incentive to report a level 3 of, very often, to push for medical intervention. Given that the assessment assumes the schooling environment is healthy and normal by default, failure to conform to the classroom environment is itself a cause for medical intervention. The schooling process is not typically questioned. Number 2. Stigmatization via grades and hierarchies. Teachers hurt children by stigmatizing them with grades and coercive, artificial hierarchies. As grades are nothing more than a wanton record of ability and willingness to obey what a teacher demands, grades are a stigmatization label where children are rewarded or scolded based on their relative obedience to the classroom instructions and decorum. This means that children who decide that they don't value what school bureaucrats value and choose to focus on other topics are treated as second-class persons, while those who obey are elevated with honors, awards, and ceremonial celebration. Teachers reinforce a favoritism toward obedience with labels and social markers, such as by putting names on a board, giving out special stars or prizes, or using tools like behavior charts to keep children in a social shaming mindset for behavior control. Teachers also use gatekeeping access to extracurricular activities and special events to push for social control among students who may otherwise not be motivated by academic shaming. This social system promotes shaming among students as children compete among each other for praise. As classes move on, students end up segregated into regular and honors classes, where students become more aware of how they are viewed as compared to students in other classes. Children begin to feel locked in their social status when placed into these groups and start to believe that they are lesser or less deserving than students placed into honors classes or other special designated groupings. Number 1. Denial of needs and autonomy fostering a lack of empathy. The denial of needs to conform to the classroom environment is one of the greatest harms perpetrated against children. The reason needs denial is so damaging is that it teaches children that their needs and passions must be circumscribed for the sake of following the mandates of politicians and teachers. This denial of needs comes in many forms, but some of the most common denied needs include restroom use, eating food, drinking water, getting rest, and getting exercise. Children are routinely shamed and told their bodily needs are not as important as paying attention to the teacher's lesson. They are told that only through strict obedience can they find success in life, so spending too much time away in the bathroom is just too dangerous. The unstated belief that becomes normalized in young minds is that central planning control for groupthink goals is acceptable, even to the point of denying people their bodily needs and individual autonomy. This mentality eventually manifests later in life when children become adults and start rationalizing violent force in the name of the supposed common good. Because young children have their needs denied, they grow to believe that the same can be done to others if they claim the same authority. Taking away possessions in the classroom becomes taking away property via eminent domain. Silencing speech becomes normalized as hate speech bans. Compulsory attendance becomes rationalized as conscription in adulthood. All the coercive denial of individual needs and autonomy in childhood becomes rationalized and accepted in adulthood as the way things are and need to be for stability. Public school graduates largely become their abusers' sycophants with lines like, "But how will children learn otherwise?" And "Children need to learn some discipline so they can hold down a job." Or, "Don't blame teachers, the system is tough." If you've heard these lines before, then you now know that these are excuses people make to downplay the pain they suffered because recognizing the injustice would bring great psychological discomfort. The first step to waking up is realizing that learning never required these abuses. Thank you so much for watching this video by me, The Honest Teacher, and thank you to my supporters on Patreon for helping to bring this content to life. If you'd like to be a part of helping me make more videos like this, please support my work over at patreon.com/thehonestteacher. I'm looking forward to connecting with you there to promote a freer future for learners everywhere. See you soon!